Hi, just checking in halfway through the day. So far, we traveled for 3 hours from 4 o'clock until 7. Took Maria to work, did some work on my computer, 4 hours. Today I helped some people to give them pointers with their relationships and difficulties that they have, whether making a relationship work or finding a way to break up. And as many people there are, as many problems they have. But one thing clear, for a big part, it feels like people create their own problems. Unconsciously, unwillingly, but we do. There's a simple causality. You do something and then there is an outcome. You meet a person and you say you like them, or you fall in love with them, or all sorts of infatuations are happening. But then this wave of emotions pass and reality kicks in. Not that wave is not reality, it is for sure. But now there is a compensation happens, sort of thing. So the wave goes up and then it goes down. The higher the wave, the higher the dip. So it's kind of expected that the more emotional you feel in the beginning of the relationship, the more of a feedback it's gonna get. You will feel once you start settling into an everyday life, because the complication comes in when there are two personalities trying to share a space. Everyone have their own preferences, and sometimes we are so caught up in our own feelings and our own ocean of emotions that we don't have time or space for another person to recognize them, to see what they want. So everybody now is fighting for their own space, for their own preferences to be heard by another person, and then you have conflicts, and in the beginning they can be overlooked, little ones, little disagreements, and it seems like after years and marriages and children, things are just getting more and more complicated. So maybe there is a way to fall in love, to feel all these amazing feelings while still be present in the now, recognizing yourself and recognizing the person you're with. And with effective communication, these feelings and needs and preferences can be shared and recognized. And then, like Marshall Rosenberg again says, it's a gift of giving. We give another person a gift of being able to fulfill our needs. So I'm with somebody, I want something, and I have a preference that this person can fulfill my need. And then I ask them to do so. And if they say no, then I'm open to find another person to fulfill this need. So there is no pressure. That's another point of confusion, is we start demanding from people that they have to do something for us, or, very common, we do something for other people and expecting the same in return. and other people live in their own worlds, and they do things their own way. So the way we show that we care for somebody may differ tremendously when another person reciprocates, and we may not recognize that they indeed sharing our feelings and start being upset and angry. So again, communication, but it's unless you sort it in the beginning, it becomes very hard to then catch up. And dig out all the bits and pieces that have accumulated and piled up, and not everyone can go through that. And then there is this balance: how far are you willing to go? How much time are you willing to spend? How much energy and effort are you prepared to make a relationship work? It doesn't mean to put up, to compromise. It just means learn. Nobody learns relationship. Nobody teaches relationships. When we grow up, little by little, we just thrown in and say, oh, we're dating, or we are engaged or married, or all these norms that are imposed by society that you have to comply to belong. Anyway, it seems like relationships is something that we are expected to do and to be good at. And the truth is, like anything else, relationships need to be learned. Communications need to be learned. It's a skill. And once you learn something, you can apply it. When you can apply it, you can make it work. So very easy. So what I find now is I'm helping people just by few bits and pieces here and there of information, just to make them stop and think differently. And somebody is really really against it, really against these ideas of looking at things differently. And I understand it's very hard. And others had enough of their situation to the point where they're really ready. They've had enough. And once you've had enough, it becomes a priority, this change. And those people are interesting to work with. Okay, so I think that's all I wanted to share. With my environment, I love the idea of getting into the car and being at home. Love it. Yeah, I have everything I need. Some food, some water. And it still feels unusual that this is my home. All the times before, I never stopped and relaxed into this environment. It was always still a car to get me from A to B. I was just going A, B, C, D, E, everywhere. So now is the first time I'm kind of taking making a pause and let it sink in. Alrighty, so half day to go. We'll probably check in the evening around 11ish. So let's see what we can get done.